Hello everybody, I'm back again with another tutorial. I'm going to be doing my part 2 on my video editing tutorial for dummies. The reason why I called it the video editing tutorial for dummies is because just to clarify that Sony Vegas can be kind of hard in editing. It's not really as difficult as a lot of people are making it out to be, but I know it takes some time and practice, yes, and that's why I'm here and that's why I'm doing tutorials in Sony Vegas, Final Cut. And also too, I've been taking a class on web development, and I've learned pretty much enough to know how to put pages together, add links and pages and everything. And I'm going to be updating a lot of stuff to my website. So be on the lookout for a HTML, Notepad, and Dreamweaver website development tutorial. I'm going to teach you how to do that in my next tutorial. And this tutorial is going to be explaining more of what I told you last in my Final Cut. So even though you don't have Final Cut and you use Sony Vegas, you can also, it's nice to check out Final Cut and see what I've said, and because I'm comparing the two programs and stuff. If you're thinking about getting a Mac or whatever and you want to learn how to use Final Cut and you want to compare the two together, Sony Vegas and Final Cut. And also too, I know that Sony Vegas is not on version 9 anymore, it's on version 10, but I recommend that you just stay with version 9 because I don't see that version number 10 with Sony Vegas is any better, and I never really liked Sony Vegas that much anymore since I've used Final Cut. I think Final Cut is a lot better than Sony Vegas because the transitions and everything are a lot smoother, and the editing time I think is a lot faster, because if you like when you're using Sony Vegas, a lot of times it'll be lagging, and then a lot of other times it'll be sometimes it'll give you a warning, or it'll freeze, or it'll lock up and you won't be able to use it, and then it'll keep shutting down your project, and you keep having, sometimes you might have to start all over, depends on how much you did. And sometimes if you went too far and then it only went like saved part of it, sometimes you'll get upset in there, and I really don't like that with Sony Vegas, because I've had that problem a lot, and I've always taken me longer to do my videos that I've tried to do in Sony Vegas. And I was so into Sony Vegas that I was kind of nervous to get into Final Cut, but I had to play around with it, and what I know in Final Cut is what mostly I taught myself, because there's tutorials out there for Final Cut. They're pretty difficult and hard to understand, so I had to play around with it. And then like one day I was just into Final Cut, and I realized that Final Cut wasn't as hard as I was making it out to be. So back to my Sony Vegas, and I'm going to go right in here and show you little things. I'm going to add a couple more clips in here. Go to copy, okay, or I could just, well, I'll just drag it all the way to here, okay, and then I'll zoom back in, because the more you're zoomed in, the better you can get it to follow the beat of the song. And you can see the waveform of the song a lot more, and the more you do it, the easier it is to follow the beat of the song too. If you can see it a lot better, and the more you zoom in. Okay, and I'm gonna go not make it that big, because like the more you're zoomed in, of course, the more it's gonna get, your clip is gonna look bigger and stuff. You can see that it's probably a lot, like the more shorter you make it, like if the beat is a lot faster. And right in here, I'm gonna also split this to right here, to right there. Yeah, I'll make it a lot smaller so that. And the transitions, if you like, I'll drag the transition and make it a lot smaller, so that it'll transition really nice. And I'll make it pretty fast right in here. And I'm gonna have to check the beat of the song first. I'll go to where's transitions. Okay, add one here. I want to let me add. Oh, maybe it's because okay, it already has one there. Okay. It's been a while since I did an actual video in here. Mostly what I've been doing right in here is well, what I've been doing in here is just tutorials. So Shift B to see what you've worked a little bit, and some of them it'll only do like 5 or 6 seconds. It would only let you see it in real time for 5 or 6 seconds, and every time you do an edit change, you're gonna have to press Shift B again. It's kind of like like that's what kind of like Final Cut is. When you do every time you do an edit change, you're gonna have to render. Here, every time you do an edit change and you want to see it in real time, you're gonna have to uh, press Shift B, and it'll let you see it in real time. If you don't do Shift B, it'll lag a lot and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what it'll do in Final Cut. Like if you try to do the unlimited rendering or whatever in Final Cut, it'll still lag because it takes a lot of memory and everything, and all the transition and effects and everything that you're trying to do, it's hogs up a lot of memory. And editing and stuff like that, doing effects and stuff, they're very high in using memory because it takes a lot of information and everything and to process and stuff. So that's why I say I don't understand why people are saying it takes a lot longer to do stuff in Final Cut when it's pretty much the same thing, except instead of having to do Shift B, you're rendering. But that's pretty much the same thing as pressing Shift B, but you're just rendering. And instead of rendering at the end, in Final Cut you render while you're editing, and the opposite here. Instead of rendering while you're editing in Sony Vegas, you're rendering when you want to process the video and share it to like a website on YouTube or whatever, put it to DVD or whatever you're going to do with the video. And so there's really not much of a difference other than which one is better, and I think that Final Cut is better because it's a lot smoother and it doesn't really lag as much as Sony Vegas will lag, and sometimes Sony Vegas will get errors and stuff like that. Like I think I got like, I know you can get errors in Final Cut too, but I've only got like a couple, and I think that's because just the way I was editing or whatever, and the way my clips were, is like they were overlapping or whatever. But it wasn't nothing too huge like Sony Vegas gets sometimes, and then you don't really need that many codecs or whatever for like Final Cut or whatever, other than just make sure that it's in .mov, or if you try to do it in AVI format in Final Cut, then it'll like come in like uh, like it won't really be able to edit it and whatever in Final Cut. So to see what this looks like and what I've done so far, here, and I play it. Let's go back to the beginning. Press play. You see that comes in pretty nice. I might have to add a lot, like a few more like transitions in here. I'd probably a few more clips, and I'll just mix this up, and it'll make it come in pretty nice pace. The smaller, a lot smaller that you make the transitions, the faster and the smoother it's gonna happen, and stuff like that. And the more you do depending on the beat, like the beat is starting out like not extremely fast, but enough to where you're gonna have to do a good amount of transitioning. Enough there. Okay, I'll go back to here, and again I'm gonna have to zoom back in. Okay, I'm gonna have to go right in here. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to here. Right now, that's why it's best that I do. And then I made it a lot smaller, and then I drag it all the way back to here, and I'll put it right around in here somewhere. Okay, right around in here. I'll go here, I'll do this, add this transition. Okay, leave it black. Okay, I'll go here, but I'm gonna have to do this. Okay, do that. Okay, then I split this. Okay, then I go here. Make sure that I do this. Okay, right here. Well, I'm gonna have to split this, cut that. Okay, go back to here. Okay, to here. Right there, right there, right there. Split that right there. Okay, right here. Okay, and I'm gonna see how this looks. Okay, I'm gonna add a transition at the back of here. Okay, to add that there. Make sure that it'll start coming in a lot bigger. It's right there. Right about there. Okay, transition there. And that's what I should have did, is make sure that I drag it to there. Then it'll come to the size of that one, and then I'll go to Shift B again. Okay. Let's see that again. And that looks pretty nice so far, and I haven't even added anything in colors or whatever to it. And okay, and I go back here. See that? Starting to look nice. I might have to like at the beginning I would have to add a lot more. Like I would have to add another clip here because the way the guitar beat is, it's kind of the way it sounds. Makes you kind of want to add a few more clips by the way it sounds. And like I said, like lines in here, like if you follow, like if you put like a clip here and then see there's a line like right in here, I'll zoom in on that to show you. And right there, there's a line there, there's a line there, there's a line there, a line there. And if you add like clips to right around these lines right in here, it'll follow the beat of the song pretty well if you had to start the transition to here, or just pretty close to it, depending on exactly how you want to follow the song. If you want to follow the lyrics, you want to follow the guitar beat. But if you really want to follow the beat of the song, just go to the line right in here, the song right in here, and it helps you to follow the beat of the song. You see this right in here, like where it says the beginning of each second, right there, right there, right there. It's kind of like a marker. Kind of like a grid marker, whatever you want to call it, and it'll help you to follow the beat of the song right here. And then if you can also just have no transition, like special transition, then you could leave the basic one like that, like pretty much nothing. And like some clips, like I'll show you on some clips, like where you don't add any transition at all, and it looks pretty good. I've done that in Final Cut as well, where I put clips on top of each other, but I didn't make them transition to each other. I did this, and it also helps to follow the beat of the song, and you can get it to like flip really fast without transitioning. Okay, leave this. I'm gonna have to zoom in a lot more again. Each time that you do that, you're gonna have to zoom in a lot, because even though it looks like it's really small, it actually isn't, because you zoomed out. Of course it made it a lot smaller. And you're going to have to zoom in to get right into the clips. Because if you want to flip really fast or whatever, you want to follow the exact guitar beat of the song. Okay, and I would add another transition here. Okay. And then right here, I'll split that. Okay, now I cut that. Okay, now I go back to here. Oh, that's alright. Because... oh, depending on the size too. Make sure that that's because Final Cut. I mean, no, yeah, Final Cut and Sony Vegas. They the way they do the transitions on top of each other is a lot differently. And I kind of like the way Sony Vegas, when you're doing the adding transitions and clips on top of each other, that it'll keep it to the size you want it. Like here, and if this clip is a bit smaller, make this a lot larger, and or whatever. And I don't really like that too well, because I just want to keep it the way it was, and I don't want to change it. If I wanted to change it, I would size it myself. Like now, and then here, like I don't like that right there, so I'm gonna have to put my clip on exactly on it. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that. Edit. See, yeah, and then I like that too, because you're gonna have to split that. Okay, then cut that. In Final Cut, it automatically gets rid of that for you. Like whatever you put on top of it, it gets rid of it, because it knows you don't want it there. Because of course, if you have it on top, then you don't want it. And also too, I don't like in Sony Vegas that sometimes when you just want to cut that clip, you'll be cutting the audio sometimes, and it might come in off for a little bit. And I never meant to cut the audio, and I never highlighted the audio, so why is it cutting the audio? What I would do is I'd probably block the audio, but then you're muting it, and you can't really do anything to it. So in like Final Cut, what I like about Final Cut over Sony Vegas is if you're like, if there's clips that you know you're not gonna mess with, then you're just gonna leave it there. It's gonna stay the same, and you're not gonna do any changes to it. Like the audio, of course, you're not gonna do any changes to it. You just block the audio track out, and it won't get messed up, and it'll be locked and until you unlock it and you want to do changes to it. But that's what I don't like about Sony Vegas, is that it'll split the audio when you never meant to split it. But that's just how Sony Vegas is. And so I'll go back. Oh, and like I said, I was going to show you to without transitioning. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go to copy. Okay, and I'm going to go to paste. Okay. Okay, and I go to here. Okay, this, cut this. Cut this. Okay, go back to here. Okay, without transitioning there. No transition, cut that out. Cut that out. Don't want no transition. Don't want a transition. You see, I don't like that either, because I wanted to transition there, but I want to transition here. I'll cut that out. I don't want to transition there. Okay, I don't want to transition there. Okay, I'm going to go to copy. Okay. Right there. Go back to here. Okay. Back to right in here. Okay. Right there. Okay. And we'll see how this looks right in here. I'll just highlight this little area right in here. I'll go from there. And also too, because it's over like 6 seconds now, so I'm gonna have to start previewing it right here now. So I can't preview all of it, because that's just how Sony Vegas is. You can only preview like 6 seconds at most. Sometimes it'll let you do 10 or 12, depending on how much memory you have in your Windows or whatever. But as you know, I'm using a virtual version of Windows, and I have a Mac, so it's going to be a lot more different than your computer depending on the memory and everything. So I'm going back, show you those transitions. And also too, it'll come in pretty nice. See that? Like right in here, there is no transition, and it's following the, it's kind of following the beat of the song a little bit. I would have to do that a little bit faster. And I've done that a couple of times in Final Cut. I've done it without transitions, and it comes in really nice. You don't have to have transitions in all your clips to follow the beat of the song, and that's pretty nice too. And I really like that. And I like to do like different things. I don't like to do the same thing all the time in my videos. I don't like to use the same transition. And then there's a lot of transitions that I have, like the new blue ones. I don't really like all of them, because they're too like I'll show you like one of these, and I'll add it to it. And I'll just show you what they look like. Like this one, I don't like that right there. I don't like that one. I don't the way they look when I add them to my clips. They don't look really nice. And that's pretty much it there with what I have to say about the new blue transitions and everything there. But what I like with the new blue mostly is some of the effects, like the new blue zoom, the new blue like with like wave, some of these, and the new blue. Like mostly what I would use if I'm still using Sony Vegas is I would use the new blue motion blur, mostly if I wanted a motion blur, because here if you do this, Control Shift E, okay, and this will pop up and you get like a purplish pinkish line. That doesn't show up still when you get this window. You have to go to right click, make sure you go to insert motion blur amount, and that's how you get this purple pinkish line. And you can add as much as you want. You can have as much as you want here. You have it go up, down, and you can make it look like a transition if you wanted to. If you want to follow the size of your transition, you make it look like a transition if you wanted to, and everything. You just play around with the motion blur a little bit. I showed you how to get this in my a couple of my other tutorials that I already did. Like I did a motion blur in Flickr one, and I showed you in a video after that one that I did in Sony Vegas again how to do motion blur and everything. And that's pretty much it. Comment, rate, subscribe. I'll be doing My next tutorial I'll be doing website development, how to mess around with HTML coding, how to mess around with Dreamweaver a little bit, and I'm going to be doing a lot more different tutorials other than just Sony Vegas and Final Cut. I just wanted to do this video editing for Dummies segment just to show basic beginners, kind of like what I've already showed you in my very first Sony Vegas tutorial, which has a lot of views, and it's my most successful tutorial that I have out there right now. And I've been trying to tell people on the video to come across my other ones because they're in HD and they come in a lot better and I explain a lot more. And I'm explaining 10 times a lot more now because I'm a YouTube partner, so I get to explain a lot more stuff a lot longer, so and stuff like that. So you're going to get a lot of information from me now that I'm partnered, and I've been partnered for like almost 2 months already. So that's pretty neat. And now if you have any questions, comment, rates, and subscribe and everything like I said. And if you want to request, let me know. I'll be doing a lot more other programs. I'll try to do is whatever I can, and whatever you guys are asking me to do, I'll see what I can do. And that's it. Comment, rate, subscribe. See you later.